Good afternoon and welcome to Gold Crown Volleyball. What we're talking about this afternoon is utilizing the score sheet. So the first thing to do, and before I go into that, let me just tell you that you are the most important official on that court because the game isn't over until you say it's over. Okay? And it's very important that you pay attention to what's going on onto the court and the signals that the referee is giving you to indicate who scored the point. Another thing to remember is, please, if you get behind, have your scoreboard operator sound the horn and stop play. The worst thing that can happen is that you get behind and then we lose points and we have no idea how to recover them. So definitely it's better to stop play, have the referee come over and try and figure out where we are on the score sheet. It's a lot better for everyone. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is list both of the teams at the top of the score sheet. You'll need to put in the complete team name. So here we have Denver South 7 gold playing Chatfield 7 gold. The date will be 9/29, which is the first Sunday of our regular season. We'll take an arbitrary start time of 12 o'clock on court 6, and you put in your name. Go ahead and print. After the referee has done a coin toss, they'll come over and tell you which team is serving and which side the teams are going to be on. For our purposes here, Chatfield will be the near team, and then Denver South will be the far team. Okay? And Chatfield has the serve. So what will happen is that each coach should give you a lineup sheet with the players in service order. If you have any questions, please talk to the referee and they will talk to the coach and have them confirm what the correct information is. So here are the lineups for our two teams. On the left you have Denver South. This is how the girls will appear on the court. You notice that they are not serving, which means their first server is actually in position number 2. So the correct service order for Denver South is 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. They are using Libero, and that is player number 10. Okay? You'll notice that we have the no box checked here, indicating that they will not serve. For Chatfield, we have checked the yes box that they are serving, so their first server will be in position 1. Their lineup is 3, 5, 2, 11, 13, 1. They are also using a Libero, and that is player number 7. So now we'll go back to the score sheet and see how you list that. All right, for Denver South, their first server is player number 2. You'll want to start on the far left side. So it's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. The Libero goes up here, and that is player number 10. For Chatfield, their lineup is 3 is the first server, then 5, 2, 11, 13, 1. The Libero is player number 7. Okay? So when they go back to serve, it's very important that you pay attention and notice the number of the player that is serving every time. Because it definitely happens that players get confused and the wrong player will go back there to serve. If that does happen, please wait until they go back to serve and they contact the ball. Once they've contacted the ball, then you can alert the referee that we do have a wrong server. They will most likely come over and check your score sheet, verify that it was a wrong server. They'll put the teams in the correct serving order on the other team. However, that is a side out point to their opponents, So the ball will go to the other team, and then they will rotate and serve. So on the front of the score sheet, there are some bullet items that will help you keeping score. We've already covered several of those items as far as where you list the teams correctly on the score sheet, which team is serving, and then listing the correct service order. Let's talk a little bit about the libero. The libero is a defensive player that only plays in the back row. They can serve for anyone, but they can only serve in one position in rotation. So let's say that Chatfield wants to have their libero serve in position 3. All you would need to do is put a triangle around position 3 on the lineup sheet. And normally you would wait until the libero actually goes back to serve to do that. I simply indicated that for our purposes here. Now, if you want to be a real expert in this, any point scored by that team when the libero is serving, you could triangle those points in the running score column. And I'll probably play around with that a little bit as we go along. Okay? Another thing to take note of is down below there's spots for timeouts. Each team is allowed 2 timeouts. Timeouts are 45 seconds. Once a team takes a timeout, all you need to do is put an X in one of the boxes. The other team takes a timeout later on. There again, an X in the box. Once a team has taken their 2 timeouts, please let the referee know so that they do not give them any additional timeouts. So let's go ahead and see about scoring a game. So Chatfield has the first serve. You've double-checked to make sure that 3 is the person going back to serve. She serves, and her team scores a point. You point the number of the point in the box, go over to the running score column, and slash the same number. Player number 3 goes back, serves again. They score another point, slash in the running score column. Player number 3 serves another point, and so now we're up to 3-0. 3 goes back, serves again, but unfortunately serves the ball into the net. You simply use a dash to indicate a side out. Now Denver South won the point, so we have to take care of that. Slash the 1 and put a 1 in the first service box for that player that will serve next. Player number 2 for Denver South serves, and they score a point. Go back, slash that point in the running score column. She serves again, and it's an ace. So now the score is tied 3-3. She goes back, serves again, and they do win point number 4. Okay? Player number 2 goes back to serve. However, she serves it out of bounds. So that indicates a side out. Slash point 4 for Chatfield. Put point 4 for the first box for the next server, which is player number 5. Player 5 serves, but it goes out of bounds. Side out there. Point for Denver South. 5 goes in the first box after player number 4. So we're going to go through this a little bit quicker now. So player number 4 scores points 6 and 7, and then a side out. You would have slashed points 6 and 7 in the running score column, and then point 5 for Chatfield. So now Chatfield wants to make a substitution. Okay? Player number 8 goes in for player number 1. So you would simply slash the 1 and put in 8. Since teams are allowed unlimited subs, we do not need to keep track of how many subs they've taken. So here the libero, player number 7, is actually serving for player number 2. So she does serve, and they score a point. So like I said, if you wanted to do a triangle, that's perfectly okay. If not, you can continue doing the slashes. It's totally up to you. So she served, and they score 2 more points. Okay. And now Denver South's coach wants to take a timeout. Okay. So then you'd go over to the Denver South side, put the X like we already have, okay, and let the referee know that South has taken 1 timeout, Chatfield has taken none, and you simply do that by showing 1 on your right, none on your left. Okay? At the end of the 45-second timeout, the libero for Chatfield goes back to serve. However, it goes out of bounds, so side out to Denver South. So now we are tied at 8 each. Okay? Denver South wants to make a substitution, so player number 12 goes in for 9. Okay? And player number 5 goes in for 2. Okay? So the thing that you have to keep in mind with regards to substitutions is once a player is in a position in rotation, they have to maintain that position for the entire set. Okay? So let's say that now that 5 is in the game, they walk out there and they trip and they tweak their ankle, and so they cannot continue. So coach is going to sub for player number 5, and she puts in player number 13. Perfectly legal, since 13 has not been in the game yet. Okay? So we go back to serve. Player number 6, her team scores points 9, 10, and 11. And we're over here. Okay? And then the Chatfield coach takes a timeout, which we've already indicated here just as an example. So now each team has taken a timeout. So you would indicate that to the referee with 1 finger from each hand, and then hold them up above your head so that the referee can see you. So after the timeout, player number 6 for Denver South goes back to serve, and she serves another point. And serves again, but this time it goes out of bounds, so it's a side out to Chatfield. Player number 11 serves. They score a point. She serves twice more. They score 2 more points. Denver South needs to take or make a substitution, so player number 9 goes back in for 12. Okay? Player 11 for Chatfield serves, scores point 13. She serves again, but the ball goes out of bounds. So make sure we keep track of the number of points that the team has scored. Okay? So we have a side out point to Denver South, point number 13. Okay? Player number 7 is serving. She serves the ball, but it goes into the net. Side out to Chatfield. The Chatfield coach decides to make a substitution and puts in player number 4 for 11. Okay. Okay. So player 13 for Chatfield serves the ball, scores point 15. Serves again, and it's a replay. A ball from the other court comes onto your court. So in our case, you don't need to do anything. Since you haven't put anything down for a serve or a point, we're good to go. So player 13 gets the ball, goes back and serves. This time, Denver South wins the point. So we have a side out to Denver South. Point number 14 goes out by player number 8. She serves twice, Score now is 15 and 16. Chatfield coach makes a substitution, puts player 11 back in for 4. Okay. And then server number 8 for Denver South continues to serve. She serves and scores point 17. And now the Chatfield coach takes her second timeout. Simply put an X in that second box and then indicate to the referee that Chatfield has taken 2 timeouts and Denver South has taken 1. At the end of the timeout, player number 8 for Denver South goes back to serve, but Chatfield wins the rally. Okay, play 16. Okay. So coach wants player number 1 to serve for Chatfield, so she goes back in for 8, and she serves points 17, 18, and 19. At that point in the game, Denver South coach decides they need a timeout. So they take their second and final timeout. So you would indicate to the referee that the teams have taken 2 timeouts each and they have no timeouts left. At the end of the timeout, player number 1 for Chatfield goes back and serves. However, Denver South wins the point. So your score now is 18 for Denver South and 19 for Chatfield. Player number 9 for Denver South serves and scores a point. Sorry, that was their side out point. She serves and scores a point. Score is 19 all. She serves, scores again. We're 20. Chatfield coach wants to make a substitution, and she sends in player number 12 for player number 5. Okay. Obviously, that kind of rattles the player for Denver South. She gets the ball back, but serves it into the net. So now we are tied at 20 all. Okay. So for our league, you do need to win by 2 until you get to point 24, and then you can win by a single point. So in this instance here, player number 3 for Chatfield serves. Her team scores point 21. Now Denver coach does the same thing that the Chatfield coach does and makes a substitution. She sends in player number 14 for player number 4. After that, player number 3 for Chatfield goes back to serve, and her team does score point 22, which is the end of the set. So at the bottom of your score sheet here, you would have 22 for Chatfield and 20 for Denver South. Okay? So now we're all ready for set number 2. The players change ends of the court. Coaches will bring over a new set of lineups for you, and we're ready to start set number 2. On your lineups or your score sheet here, you will have already put the teams in on the sides that they will be in for the second set, and you will already have indicated that Denver South has the serve. Okay? So that's basically how you keep score. Team needs to win at least 2 sets. If it goes to a third set, we have a limit of 17 points, so a team could win that third set 17-16 or even 17-15. So the main thing is that you keep the referee advised on how many timeouts each team has taken, and work with your buddy at the scores table to make sure that the visible score matches what you have on your score sheet. If at any time you get behind, please stop play, or at the end of a rally, bring the referee over so that you can explain to them the situation and try and figure out where you are on the score sheet and make sure things are up to speed. There are different scoring rules for other age groups. Okay. 7 silver and 6th grade teams may use continuous rotations. Okay. And I will show you an example of that on the back side of this score sheet. Okay, so let's say that Denver South and Chatfield now are a 7 silver team, and Denver South has 9 players. So what will happen there is they'll turn in their lineup, and you'll put in the starting 6, and then the next 3 players in order of service. So player number 8 will be serving next, followed by player number 1, and then finally with player number 9. Then your next server, we go back to the beginning. That would be player number 2, then player number 3, player number 4, back up here, 10, 5, 7, 8, 1, 9. And if you go beyond that, then you just start over with 2, 3, etc. Okay? And then you would do the same thing for Chatfield, although they could use conventional rotation if they wanted to. But let's say that they're going to do continuous rotation as well. And they've got player number 7, player number 10, player number 11, player 9, 4. So for Chatfield, let's say that they only have 7 players. So we put in the initial lineup, which is 7, 10, 11, 9, 4, 3. Then we go back up to the top. That's their 7th player, number 8. And then we repeat the original lineup. So 7, 10, 11, 9, and 4. Back up to the top, 3, then 8. Then we start over again, 7, 10, 11, 9, and 4. And we would have number 3 there if necessary. So anyway, that's how you do a continuous rotation. Just make sure that you're aware of who the correct servers are at all times. And if not, please let the referee know. So let's take a look at a situation where we do go to a third game. And so the referee will do another coin toss. Okay? And so Denver South is going to stay on the side that they're on. And then Chatfield will be the far team. And Chatfield won the toss, so they are going to serve. Okay. Unfortunately, Chatfield had a situation where 2 of their players had to leave. Okay. So now Chatfield only has 5 players, so they're going to have to play with a ghost. Okay. And the way we handle that is the coach will turn in her lineup, and the ghost will be the last person to serve. So let's go through this and go that we have that. And then put a G for the ghost. Okay? And so we go through the game, and both teams have scored. We're going back and forth, and now we finally get down to where the ghost is. Okay? What we do for the ghost is they get whatever point their team just scored, so we'll just say that it was point 10. Okay? And then the ball goes back over to Denver South. Okay? And since they're receiving that point, you would put a G, because they do not get a point for the side out due to a ghost. Okay? And then they would start with the next point that that would be in their normal order. So let's say that they had scored up to 7 points. Okay, so they score a point here. Okay, they score another point and then a side out. So they would have 9, and then you'd go back over to Chatfield, go back up to the top, and then wherever they are in the score column here that's where they'd start, and that would be point number 11, and you would finish out the game that way. Here's the thing, if it's the start of a match and they're short, they only have 5 players, and then a player does show up, so now they have 6, that player can immediately go into the game, okay? But she will fill the spot that the ghost was in. So they don't have an option on where she can be in rotation for that particular set, okay? So that's kind of how we do the ghost. So if at any time you have questions, feel free to seek me out. I'm here at Gold Crown most Sundays, and I'll be more than happy to help you out with the score sheet and that sort of thing, or any questions that you might have. Our main thing here is that we do get the score correct, and that it's not a too stressful time for you. Once again, thanks very much for your time, and we appreciate you working with Gold Crown Volleyball. Thank you.